Hey guys, in this video, I want to talk about tools that every homeowner should own. And even if you have an apartment or you're just getting into some DIY projects of your own, I think these are the tools you're going to need. So let's get right into it. Number one, and I say number one because every time I do a project, I feel like I'm breaking this tool out. It's a cordless drill. These things come in so handy. You can put a drill bit in it, you can put a Phillips in it, a flathead, Torx, an Allen, a Robin's head bit, whatever you need. And it's great to have around. You can get a kit, doesn't matter the brand. You don't want to spend all kinds of money if you're just doing this, for yourself. But for me, Ryobi is the best bang for your buck. And a lot of these companies offer an impact driver. And an impact driver will save your life if you're screwing in a lot of screws. Next up, a tape measure and a pencil. Seems pretty self-explanatory, right? Well, it kind of is. Gotta have a hammer. I recommend a straight claw hammer, not the curved claw hammer. You can do so many more things with this one. If you need to split wood, you can split wood with this. Demo is great with a straight claw hammer, where a curved hammer isn't all that great. Next up, a level. This is a 4-foot. You can use a 2-foot, but you can use this from anything to putting up a fence, you're building a wall, you're leveling your floor, whatever you're doing, or if you're hanging pictures, decorating, this comes in so handy. Next on the list, circular saw. Gotta have a circular saw. You can use it for cutting plywood, you can use it for demo. I have another circular saw just for demo. I keep a blade on that so I can just grab it real quick and cut through nails and whatever I need to, so I don't have to replace the blade. Definitely gotta have a circular saw. Adjustable pliers, or these are called channel locks. These are great, and also an adjustable wrench. A good solid utility knife. You can use that for a ton of things in your house. Make sure you get a solid one, because something that I like to do is extend the blade and use my hammer and kind of chop at wood that way. So if you get a durable one, you can do that. It's a must-have. I already mentioned the drill with the bits, but you're going to want a flathead screwdriver on its own. It's really hard to use flathead bits in a driver. If you've ever tried it, it's really frustrating. This, you have a lot more control. Also, if you get a solid flathead screwdriver, you can use it as a chisel sometimes and dig stuff out of grooves and stuff. It's just great to have. Flat bar. It's a pry bar, but it's flat. This is great for demo. The reason I recommend a flat bar is because it gets into a lot more tight spaces, and I just like the curve of this more, and it's light. It's, you can hammer on it and it won't break or anything. It's a great tool. And a framing square. This, you can mark straight cuts, put it on your board, mark a straight cut. You can do angles if you're framing. Obviously, it's a framing square. You can use it for rafters and stairs and everything else. Definitely recommend this. Aluminum is probably what you want to go with, although I don't think they make steel anymore. They might, but aluminum's light and easy to carry around and a great tool. Another good thing to have is an extension cord. Also, sawhorses. It's a great thing to have. You won't have to bend over and break your back every day. So those are the kinds of tools that you can kind of get away with doing your projects. If you need to step your game up and if you wanted to be safe, there's a couple other tools that I would recommend. Starting with an expansion on your cordless set, like a sander. If you're doing any finish work, this will come in great. This thing, an oscillating blade. I think it's an oscillating blade tool. I think the original name for it was a fine tool. Basically just the saw blade moves like this, and it does some things that only this tool can do, and it comes in so handy and it'll save your life. I promise. So many more things that are cordless. It doesn't have to be Ryobi, obviously. There's a ton of other companies that make these kinds of tools. Now, obviously, if you're going to be doing a lot of painting, you're going to need brushes and rollers and rolling poles and trays and all, you know, caulking gun. If you're going to be doing landscaping, you're going to want rakes and shovels and wheelbarrow. But this kind of covers the basic stuff that you're going to need. Now, if you wanted to step your game up, I would recommend a compressor. This is the size that I have. You don't need anything huge. I do everything with this thing. I fill my tires up, I nail in trim, I even run a framing gun off of it. So a compressor and an air hose, obviously. A finish nailer, it's great to have if you're doing a lot of baseboard or crown molding or any kind of trim. Definitely a finish nailer. A pin gun for the small trim, the tiny pieces, this is great. And even if you're planning on doing some framing, a framing gun is awesome to have instead of hand nailing. You could hand nail it, but this makes it a lot easier. Another great tool to have, a chop saw or a compound miter saw. The chop saw is great for doing angles on any kind of trim. It makes it a lot easier than a circular saw when it comes to cutting, you know, the same length of something, maybe a fence or something like that. Awesome tool. If you're going to be doing a lot of demo, a reciprocating saw is what you want, or a sawzall is the other term. These things are great. They'll cut through anything, and I love it. They're fun to play with, so I definitely recommend that. So those are kind of the basic tools that you'll need, starting from the lower end up to the higher end kind of. Again, you're not going to need all these tools, or maybe you want more tools. You know, you might not need a planer, a router, or a full wrench set or something like that, but you can definitely get it. That's up to you. Hopefully this video helped you out. Do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments. If you're just watching this now, stay tuned. Thank you for subscribing, because I got a lot of projects coming up and I'm gonna love to share them with you. And if you're watching this down the line, check out my other videos and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And thanks for watching.